The true walk-off sent the Indians to their 14th straight win at home. To get number 50, they'll have to battle yet another tough starter, David Price. Indians and Rays starts right now on STO.
Thank you, Tri fans.
Game 2 of the three-game series with the Tampa Bay Rays getting set to go for that one here tonight as the Indians will look for their 15th straight win at home. It was another magical walk-off win last night against Tampa. Good evening and welcome into our broadcast here on Sports Time Ohio. Along with Rick Manning, I'm Al Pulowski. 14 straight wins at home, Rick, the last 4 now in the Indians' last at bat.
Well, I'll tell you, something special is happening in this ballpark because every night it seems to be something different. You can get a walk-off grand slam, no matter how they do it. They expect it to happen in the dugout now. That's just a base hit to get it rolling. We get another ball. They're scoring from all over the place, and a walk-off walk. You don't see that too often. Brantley was down in the count 0-2. In skips Santana. I'll tell you what, this is getting exciting. It's becoming fun. 4 straight home wins, 8 wins in their last at-bat. That means something very special is happening to this ball club.
Well, the fans enjoying it, that's for sure, especially here at the ballpark. And now tonight on this pitching matchup, Carlos Carrasco comes off the disabled list. He'll be going for the Tribe against a good one in David Price.
Well, they feel he's ready. He made a start in the minor leagues. Carrasco with his good stuff. He's going to go with his sinker, changeup, slider. He's going to be matched up in the first time he will ever face Tampa Bay. But he's got a tough customer at hand, the big, tall left-hander, David Price, who throws hard. He's got a very good slider. He stopped Tampa Bay's 18-game losing streak in this park last year.
And today's pitching matchup is brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. As you get a look at the numbers on Price and Carrasco, and Price has been very tough against Cleveland in his career. We'll see what he does tonight as Carlos Carrasco comes off the disabled list. And you're just about set for baseball here tonight. Coming up next, the starting lineups in first pitch between the Rays and Indians. Indians and Rays tonight here at Progressive Field in Game 2 of this 3-game series as Carlos Carrasco comes off the disabled list for the Tribe, and he'll be taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. And let's get a look at their starting lineup here tonight from manager Joe Madden. And we'll lead off this evening with Sam Fuld, who's been slumping of late, but Ben Zobrist, Johnny Damon, and Evan Longoria have not. And especially not slumping is Matt Joyce. Look at his numbers in the last 11 games. Then it's Upton in center field, Kochman at first base, Brignac gets the start tonight at short, and Jaso is catching and batting ninth.
Carlos Carrasco making his 6th Major League start this year. His last start came against the Minnesota Twins at the Major League level. April 24th, he went 3 innings, ended up leaving that ball game after giving up 6 hits. Felt tightness in his elbow, made a rehab start at Trenton on May 6th, went 3 2/3, didn't really pitch very well, but he had no pain, so he's getting the start tonight. Let's take a look at our Home Depot defense.
For the Indians, it's Kearns in left, Brantley in center, Chu is in right. It'll be Hanahan at third, as Drubel at short, Orlando at second, Laporta's at first, Santana behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Let's take a look at the umpiring crew for tonight's game. Jerry Meals calling the balls and strikes. John Tempane is at first base. Dan Iasonia is at second. Dale Scott, who called the balls and strikes last night, is at third. Partly cloudy night here tonight, but a very comfortable night after a great day in Cleveland.
Great day, boy. 80 degrees. It was, it was like summertime.
It sure was. It seems there's less and less spring in this region. It almost goes right from winter to summer now.
That seems like that, doesn't it? Well, it's okay. I'll accept summer right now.
We'll take it. And Sam Fuld will step in for Tampa against Carlos Carrasco to lead it off tonight. He'll take a first pitch ball from Carlos.
It's the first time Carlos has ever faced the Rays.
Two 2-0 now to Fuld. 67 degrees here at game time. Indians third baseman Jack Hanahan in on the grass just in case. Fuld does have some speed. He can bunt. And right now 3-0. Ben Zobrist on deck. And on 4 pitches, Sam Fuld draws a walk. Well, with more on Carlos Carrasco tonight, let's send it to our reporter, Katie Witham. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Al, Rick. I had a chance to catch up with Carrasco last night in the clubhouse. He told me he is back, feeling good. He said, though, tonight's keys for him, first pick strikes and keeping the ball down low. He said that he did take a cue from Josh Tomlin last night and the fact that the Rays were able to key in on his first pick strike, so he hopes to change it up, keep him off balance, but he is 100% healthy, guys.
All right, Katie. And Zobrist had a 14-game hitting streak snapped last night.
Well, it's certainly not the way you want to start 5 straight balls. He's out there, and sometimes, he's looking forward to it, getting back out there. Hasn't started in a few weeks after coming off the DL. He just needs to throw a strike.
There goes the runner. Throw down to second base. Fuld, though, is safe as he picks up his 11th stolen base of the season.
Well, he's taking off on a 1-0 pitch after 5 straight balls. Sometimes you don't want to do that, but he takes off. Second stolen base off Carrasco, and he's tied with Elvis Andrus. And out comes Tim Belcher in a hurry. Just trying to get him to relax. Just a little vote of confidence, pat him on the back and say, don't worry about it, man. Get back in the zone. Get in the zone.
6 straight balls for Carrasco to begin things here tonight.
You look at Carrasco on the year, hitters are hitting 299 off of him this year. Going into tonight's start, lefties really doing well, 365, 236, the right-handers. But you don't want Tampa to get an early lead with the guy that they have on the mound tonight.
David Price went 8 2/3 against Toronto his last time out last week and didn't give up a run, an earned run. Three 3-0 now to Zobrist. And there's a strike. By the way, that last steal for Sam Fuld, that was his first steal now in the last 14 games. So he got 10 steals early, Rick, but cooled off.
You can't steal first base because offensively he hasn't been on.
Very good point. Yep. And a walk to Zobrist. So not a good start for Carrasco with back-to-back walks.
Well, it was Tampa that walked 11 Indians last night. They never really hurt them a whole lot. They did score 2 runs up until the last inning, the 9th inning. Ended up walking off with a walk, but that's not how you want to start the game, setting the table.
So now Johnny Damon, who had last night off, he did come up to pinch hit and walked. Getting the start tonight, a designated hitter. Comes up with runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the first inning. Damon was the AL Player of the Week from April 24th to May 1st. First pitch swinging. Look at that
Look at
spirit.
this.
It's coming fair. Hanahan makes the play to first, and he got Damon by a step. How about that?
Well, that was one of the strangest things I've seen, because normally when you hit the cue ball off the end of the bat, it'll go and it'll roll toward the dugout. This one rolled the other way, started off in the grass, and came back into fair territory. Rarely do you see that. Look at that, right off the end of the bat. Now you're figuring it's foul. No siree. That's a good play by Hanahan to come up and get it to retire Damon, although the two runners do move into scoring position.
Yeah, just like a bunt. Strange indeed. So here's Evan Longoria, who really hit the ball well last night, including a home run. The homer last night was his second in 3 games for the Rays third baseman.
Well, both the pitches that he hit, the double off the wall and then the home run, out away from him. They let him extend the arms. That's why that first pitch they're trying to crowd him a little bit. Back goes Santana. Nice pitch.
1-1 now to Evan Longoria.
Runs a little two-seamer in there. You know, those hitters, you get runners in scoring position, and then you want to get something out over the plate you can drive. Hit in the air.
That one is in. Longoria just 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position this year. Small sample size due to his time on the disabled list.
Well, this guy, one of the when he's locked in, he's as good as there is when it comes to clutch hitting. He can hit the home run. He's an excellent ball player.
We took that when Carrasco fooled him with the off speed.
Well, this is the first time, as I mentioned, they face Carrasco. So a lot of times they don't know what his tendencies are right now, other than watching video, until you get in that little white box and see the movement of his pitches. You don't really know.
Now the 2-2. That one is foul outside the bag at third. So the Rays threatening here in the first inning with runners at second and third, 1 out, and a 2-2 count on Evan Longoria. There's Fold at third. Ben Zobrist at second. They both walked. And that one on the outside corner fooled him again. And Evan Longoria is a strikeout victim, and a big one here in the first inning for Carrasco.
Well, nicely done. Looks like a breaking ball out over the plate, and it locked up. Longoria just couldn't pull a trigger. Slider, outside edge, 86 miles per hour. A beautiful pitch because he was running it inside, and he gets him on the breaking ball away for out number 2. You got to be careful here, though. This guy, Joyce, leading the league in hitting.
Yeah, very hot right now. Matt Joyce also homered last night. First in the league in batting average. Also first in the league batting average against righties at .395. But he grounds the first pitch to second. Orlando Cabrera makes the play, and Carlos Carrasco works out of the trouble of the first 2 walks to hitters 1 and 2. We'll take a break. Indians coming to bat next. So here at Progressive Field, Rays scoreless in the top half of the first. Indians will try to get on the board first, and let's take a look at their lineup. Presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley leading off. Grady Sizemore out of the lineup today. He has an MRI on his knee today. Asdrubal Cabrera, Chu, Santana, and Duncan are the top five. Then Orlando Cabrera, Laporta, Kearns, and Hanahan.
25-year-old left-hander David Price makes the start. Makes his 8th start of the year, 4-3, coming off a beautiful start. Only 9 walks, 40 strikeouts. And 8 2/3 in his last start against Toronto, where he punched out 10, didn't walk anybody. Could have had a complete game, but there was an error made. They scored a run. He ended up coming out. But this guy has been pitching very, very well. He is 2-0 in this ballpark in his career.
And he'll see Michael Brantley first. And he'll take that pitch for a strike. And Rick, in case folks are just joining us, Grady Sizemore, a precautionary MRI as it's being described today, but he's out of the lineup. Travis Hafner also out with the lefty David Price on the hill.
Well, yeah, we saw last night Sizemore go into second base sliding and bang that right knee into the bag last night. We knew it hurt because he grabbed it. That's not the knee he had the surgery on, folks. So there it is. You see him grab that right knee. He got in. He said it was okay, but, you know, he slides late into the bag. Ooh.
And Brantley lines the ball back to David Price, who makes the catch on the lineout for out number 1.
This is right back at you. Hit right on the nose, and the big man just sticks his glove out and catches it to retire Michael Brantley.
Made it look extremely casual.
Yeah, he did. The long arm of the law just grabbed it, snatches it back, and takes a base hit away, maybe.
So Brantley hit it hard, but he's out number 1 here in the first. Asdrubal Cabrera to the plate. Shows bunt, takes strike 1 from Price. And Asdrubal this year has really hit left-handed pitching, batting .333, also a couple of homers and 10 runs batted in.
Well, you want to put as many right-handers in that lineup as you can, because left-handers this year just a 163 average against Price, 7 for 43, make it 44 now after the last out. And you can see why he can be tough. He can get it up there in the high 90s, anywhere from 95, 97. Very good slider.
And he's ahead to Cabrera here, 1-2. Cabrera, good waste of that pitch.
Yeah, that's what you have to hope, is that you can foul off a few of his pitches. He did throw 118 pitches in his last start, 81 strikes. But 8 2/3 innings, almost went the distance.
Asdrubal takes that one inside a little bit. There's Shin-Soo Choo on deck.
You know, there's not a lot of history between David Price and the Indians. He just hasn't pitched that many games against him.
Cabrera fouls that one back. Yeah, it's been limited. Cabrera is 0 for 3 against him in his career. And when you look at some of these numbers, Rick, nobody on the Indians roster has had as many as 10 at-bats. The most at-bats against him, Austin Kearns, who's in the lineup tonight, and he's just 1 for 9 against him.
And it just, you know, you don't get, first of all, it's only his second full season at the big league level. We don't get to play the Rays all that much, being from the East.
There's a fly ball to right. Matt Joyce going back, but he'll have room. 2 outs here in the first inning.
Let's set the Tampa defense for you behind Price. They are rated number 1 in the league, only 14 errors. It's Fold, Upton, and Joyce in the outfield. Longoria, Brignac, Zobrist, and Kochman on the infield, with Jaso behind the plate.
And now Shin-Soo Choo to the plate, who's 2 for 7 in his career against David Price. And they were saying there wasn't a lot of history with him, and for the Indians, it's probably a good thing. You don't get to see David Price very often because he's a pretty good one.
Yeah, you know, well, you know, it's always nice to face the good ones, to see what they have, and you see why they're successful, because they go out there and in the last 3 games, the Tampa pitching has walked 26 guys. You're not going to see that tonight. You're going to see this guy pound the strike zone, so you better be ready from the first pitch.
0-2 already here to Chu.
He was walking off the mound, thought he had one.
Just missed there. Well, he's thrown 13 pitches, 9 of those strikes.
And he doesn't mess around. He doesn't, try and trick you. When you have a fastball like that, no reason to.
One and two here. And Chu swings and misses. Looked like he was fooled. First strikeout victim for David Price. Indians go 3 up, 3 down. Second inning coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball on STO is brought to you by McDonald's. Hit a home run with a delicious frappe or real fruit smoothie from McDonald's. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. And by AT&T. We go to the second inning here in downtown Cleveland. Tribe and Rays locking up for the second time in as many days. They'll finish out this series tomorrow at 12:05. That game will not be on Sports Time Ohio, so buy a ticket and head on out. Play a little hooky.
Well, tomorrow's the first Kids Weather Day here at the ballpark, isn't it? WKYC Channel 3 Weather Day. So maybe they're going to tell them how you can get a rain delay, pull a tarp out on a cloudy day.
And the game will be on MLB Network. You can catch it there. Here's B.J. Upton. 1-1's the count against Carlos Carrasco. And a swing and a miss. So quickly 1-2 to Upton, and lunch in 3 innings tomorrow as well.
That'll be fun. Hopefully it's going to be a nice warm day like it was today.
Here's the 1-2. Grounder in the hole. Hanahan gets there. The throw. Nice play. Gets B.J. Upton for the first out here of the second inning. And speaking of lunch in 3 innings, Katie, what do you know about that?
Well, it's going on tomorrow. We've got a lot of great things going on all week long. Lunch in 3 innings is out here tomorrow. If you're in the downtown area or close to Progressive Field, come on over for the 12:05 start. $15 will get you in the door and a $10 food and drink voucher that you can use. Log on to Indians.com to buy your tickets tonight so you can come out here tomorrow. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Katie. That sounds good indeed. Great value. One out here for Casey Kochman. Nobody on in the second inning. Scoreless. And strike one to Casey Kochman, who really is off to a good start this year, batting .348.
Well, when you look at Tampa last year, Carlos Pena, the first baseman, who was a big influence in that clubhouse. Very good first baseman, a lot of power. He had down years, though, and he was making a lot of money, and they just couldn't afford to pay a guy, for 20 to 30 home runs, and he was hitting about, $1.96 last year.
That one spanked up the middle for a base hit. First hit of the night for either side. It belongs to Casey Kochman with one out here in the second inning.
Boy, right back up the middle. Looks like Carrasco has to move his legs to get out of the way. That'll make you move in a hurry.
So Kochman aboard with one out for Reed Brignac, who came in as a defensive replacement in the late stages last night. No, you were talking about Casey Kochman, Rick, playing first and Pena gone. And we were talking before the game here tonight that the Indians and the Rays are similar in a lot of ways. And one of those is they've lost some key players over the last year or two. The Rays, especially this past offseason, but their replacements, like Kochman, have really performed.
Well, to this point, you look at it, and Tampa started the year out, they couldn't score. They were averaging one run a game, I think, for their first 9 games. They went 0-6, but boy, have they rebounded. And Longoria was on the DL. You got to tip your cap to them. But pitching-wise, they're very similar with the Indians. Defensively, they're leading the league in defense, the fewest errors. Offensively, they may struggle a little bit. They don't walk as much as the Indians, but both teams do mirror each other.
Hey, look at what the Indians did, bringing in Hanahan at third base. He's worked out so well. Cabrera at second. And Tampa's had similar success. Swing and a miss here for Reed Brignac. 0-2 here to the Rays shortstop. And you look at this bullpen for Tampa as well. I don't think anybody thought they'd have the best bullpen ERA here in May. A lot of guys that have been around for a while, but nobody with necessarily outstanding track records.
No, and they lost 5 guys from that bullpen last year. That is the surprising thing. Very much so. Your closer, they lost Soriano, who was one of the best in the business last year, and they lose him to the Yankees as a setup man. I'll tell you where they're going to benefit. Tampa. You wait till this June in the draft. I think they have 9 or 10 of the first 100 selections in the June draft. And they are going to be some kind of successful. If you can draft and develop, and that's how their pitching staff is the reason why it's at. You have David Price, all these kids they drafted and developed. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in the June draft this year.
Here's a look at that block by Santana. Yeah, but you're right, getting David Price in the draft just a few years ago, and he was up very soon.
Yeah, Shields.
Shields,
you're right. But, he was one of the best pitchers going out of Vanderbilt.
There's the 1-2 now.
Good pitch.
Carrasco just missing there.
No, if you miss, that's where you want to miss. Down in the strike zone low. Make sure it's a little below the knees as opposed to missing around the belt. That's a pretty darn good pitch.
Grounder up the middle. Orlando Cabrera, nice diving stop, gets it out of his glove and is able to get the runner at second base. Nice play by Orlando Cabrera to knock down the lead runner, Casey Kochman.
Yeah, you can't get greedy there. He wanted to try and turn it, and I don't think he got it out of his glove the first time. So just make sure you get the first out. And they've been solid, these two guys, the Keystone. You see, he didn't really pick it cleanly, but it was laying there. He was able to barehand it, flip it to Asdrubal, and they get the force out. Always make sure you get it out. Then they've done that this year.
So 2 outs now for the Rays catcher John Jaso, hitting in the 9th spot in the order once again. And he'll take a first pitch ball from Carlos Carrasco. What's interesting about Jaso is that last season he hit leadoff in 45 games. That was the most on the team, and 41 games while catching. Now, since 1901, only 2 catchers have hit leadoff in more games in one season. That's one of them.
Jason Kendall.
He did it 5 times. The other one was a Clevelander, but pretty long time ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember Kendall. I don't remember who it was.
This was before you were born. 1939, Raleigh Hemsley.
No, I don't remember him. I was born actually in 37.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't remember Raleigh Hemsley. But I do remember Kendall. Nicely
nice move
done.
Over there.
That was quick. Brignac has not attempted a stolen base yet this year, but it looked like he was leaning that way, didn't it?
Oh, boy,
that was very close.
Jaso lines that one right back up the middle for a base hit. Brignac will stop at second base, so now the Rays have runners at first and second and 2 outs. And they have a couple of hits here in this second inning. STOHD.com is your web source for Ohio sports. And today at STOHD.com, check it out. Jonathan Knight tells you why you should get out of the house and get to Progressive Field. Learn more at STOHD.com, your source for Ohio sports. So back to the top of the order we go. Sam Fuld, who worked a 4-pitch walk to start the game, comes up for the second time tonight. He fouls that one away.
I want to send out some birthday wishes tonight. Happy birthday to our friend Polka Ron Kazmarek. Works down there in near the clubhouse. Also a happy birthday to Butch Loser of Willowick, who is turning 61.
Here's the 0-1 to Fuld. That's on the inside corner for a strike. So Carrasco gets ahead of Fuld 0-2 here. With the second straight inning working with runners on base. And Fuld hits that one fair inside the bag at first and down towards the corner. 1 run is in. Chu is up with it. He'll hit the home plate man Santana and almost had a chance to catch John Jaso, who took a wide turnaround third, but he scampers back. So 1 run scores in Reed Brignac. Tampa has a 1-0 lead. And now the Rays with runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the second.
That coming on an 0-2 pitch. And that one went right over the corner of the bag. I saw Matt Laporta look at him. He's talking to first base umpire right now. And boy, that was close. That had to shave the corner of the bag. But on an 0-2 pitch, he gets a base hit and it breaks through. So Tampa will draw first blood today.
So Sam Fuld with the RBI double. 10th RBI of the year, 10th double of the year. Ben Zobrist taking a ball from Carrasco. So 1 run already in, and Tampa looking to add on here in inning number 2.
Well, in the last 3 games, Tampa has hit 15 doubles. They're third in the league now. They have 73. So this 2-base hit has been common for them this year.
Yeah, double-wise coming into tonight, they had 15 doubles in their last 3 games. 2-1 here to Ben Zobrist. And now 3-1, and Carlos Carrasco up to 41 pitches here tonight.
Well, the left-handers so far have done the damage, and they've hit him pretty well this year.
There's the base runners with a 3-1 count to Zobrist and Johnny Damon on deck. Now the count will go full. 25 pitches this inning for Carlos Carrasco. Grounder to third. Hanahan makes the play. Rays are retired here in the second inning, but they get a run home and take a 1-0 lead. We head to the bottom of the second inning. The Indians trailing Tampa Bay 1-0. It'll be hitters 4, 5, and 6 in manager Manny Acta's lineup. Carlos Santana, Shelley Duncan, and Orlando Cabrera. And a very comfortable night for a ball game here at Progressive Field. Game 2 in this 3-game series with the Rays. Game 2 in a 6-game homestand for the Tribe, with Seattle coming to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So here's Carlos Santana, who's batting just .176 against left-handers this year. He takes strike one from David Price. And some questions there for home plate umpire Jerry Meals. One and one now to Santana.
And Price looks like he's just rocking back and throwing the fastball right now. You know, just moving it in and out. But when you're throwing 96, 97, you could do that. That first time through, as we said, not a lot of track records. Go ahead and get your location on that fastball. And maybe the second time around you can throw a little slider or change up if needed.
Santana hits it hard, but on the ground to short. Reed Brignac makes the play. One down here in the second inning. All right, let's take a look at tonight's trivia question brought to you by AT&T. Name the 3 players in Indians history who have had multiple seasons of 40-plus stolen bases. Think about that. We'll have the answer for you coming up later on the broadcast. The AT&T trivia question. A good idea on 2 of them. Here's Shelley Duncan. He'll take strike one. Designated hitter tonight in place of Travis Hafner, who's getting the night off. Shelley 1 for 3 in his career with a homer against David Price. Shelley has been very good against left-handed pitching this year, batting .333 against left-handers. He's quickly down 0-2 here.
Well, you know one thing, when Duncan's in the lineup, he's going to come out swinging. He doesn't leave anything out there. He gets out and swings hard. That comes, I think that approach comes when you become a good pinch hitter like he has been last year for the Tribe. And to this point, you get up there and you have every at-bat like it's your only at-bat, and you get after it early. You know, you don't get a chance to play a lot. So you can't sit out there and take pitches that, you know, a lot of hitters will take because they know their strike zone if you're playing once a week. You have to get up there, and if it's close enough and you can put it in play, you get after it.
Here's the 1-2. Price just misses there. Is that true of all players coming off the bench, Rick, even those that aren't pinch hitters? If you only play once or twice a week, if that,
well,
you want to get up there and swing?
I would think so. Your eye's not as sharp. You know, you can't afford to take a pitch maybe that far outside. You know, even though you think it's a ball, you don't want to get down in the count because you haven't had many at-bats. I think you will be a little more aggressive.
Duncan with the grounder to third. Longoria make the throw across. 2 down here in the second inning.
Well, you don't want to miss Friday's fun-filled start to the weekend when the Tribe will take on the Seattle Mariners. It's Fireworks Night presented by Fifth Third Bank. Sugardale Dollar Dog Night as well. And half-price student ID night. So visit Indians.com for ticket information.
Eric Wedge and the Mariners in town this weekend. Yeah, Friday night, Fireworks Night, always a good time. Expecting a decent crowd for that one. Here's Orlando Cabrera taking a look at ball 1 from David Price.
First time he didn't throw a first pitch strike. It was now 5 out of 6. Yeah, the Fireworks Friday night, it's the best in Cleveland. There's none better.
It seems it gets better every year, too.
Well, I know one thing. People, they love them here.
Strike there from Price.
Yeah, that's the count you want to try and hit in where Orlando Cabrera is. After a 2-0 count, hitters are hitting .318 off Price.
Cabrera hits that one to right center field, but Upton has room. Drifts over and makes the somewhat basket catch for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the third inning. Still 1-0 Tampa. Welcome back. We'd like to remind you to stay tuned for later in the game to see what our Miller Taste Greatness moments will be. Top of the third inning, Johnny Damon, Evan Longoria, Matt Joyce, the scheduled hitters for Tampa. That's clever. Get STO on the sign, Rick, as you said. We'll get you on.
Yeah, you will get on. South Carolina Tribe fans.
All right.
On the road.
Johnny Damon hit that spinner up the third baseline that started foul, came back fair. Jack Hanahan was able to throw him out. First time he was up. 1-1 now to Johnny Damon, who was on a 16-game hitting streak back in April. That was the longest in Tampa history for the month of April. He also has 5 home runs this year, and we talked a little bit about it last night, Rick. Johnny Damon has added that veteran presence to the Rays, and something they severely needed, losing some of those guys like Carlos Pena.
Well, that's one reason why they went out and signed him. You know, Detroit wasn't going to take the chance of giving him another $7-8 million, so they took a flyer on being a veteran, and he was the spark that certainly helped him to this point. It's Manny Ramirez, the one that was the failure.
You know, they knew they needed outfielders. And Carl Crawford over in Boston, of course, that hurts to lose him.
Well, Johnny's a DH now. He very rarely will he play the outfield.
It's a grounder to first. Matt Laporta will take it himself. 1 out here in the third inning. Let's take a look at our minor league report tonight, brought to you by Kia. And Mike Rail, who was the Midwest Pitcher of the Week. He was also our minor leaguer of the week in the Indian system. How about those numbers? 4-0 this year for the Lake County Captains, who are 4.5 games out. Mike Rail, a left-hander, looking pretty good, and one to watch in the Class A level. So here's Evan Longoria, who was a strikeout victim his first time up, and first pitch swinging here. Hanahan backs up to field it. Makes a good throw across. 2 down quickly here in the third. That'll bring Matt Joyce to the plate, who grounded out to second. His first time up back in the first inning with runners at second and third. Boy, it'd be nice for Carrasco to get a 1-2-3 inning here and get into a little bit of a groove after a difficult first couple of innings.
Well, you know, after coming off the DL, he missed a little time, had that one rehab start, and it may take you a little while to get going, to get back into your rhythm, to get a feel.
Breaks his bat there, Orlando Cabrera. Throws him out. There's that 1-2-3 inning. So Carrasco makes quick work of the Rays here in the third. We'll head to the bottom half. 1-0 Tampa. Bottom third of the Indians' order coming up here in the bottom of the third inning. Hitters 7, 8, and 9. Laporta, Kearns, and Hanahan. Nice night for a ball game. Great to see the short sleeves out. Some folks in shorts. And David Price throwing some heat. He's retired the first 6 Indians batters he's faced. And a first pitch ball to Matt Laporta, who's batting just 190 against lefties this year. Laporta hitting better against right-handers, 282 against them. A 2-0 here. Here's the overall numbers on Laporta this year. And he hits that one hard to center field. Upton going back. He'll have room and make the catch with a step on the warning track. So 1 out here in the third inning. Something new at STOHD.com for you. The STO auctions. Right now, you can bid on a $15,000 vinyl siding project from the siding experts at Garfield 12323. Log on to STOHD.com and click on the STO auction banner. Bidding ends Sunday at 9 p.m., so make sure you check it out. Get your bid in, STOHD.com. 1 out for Austin Kearns, who swings and misses. Austin struggling this year with that 159 average, but is hitting 294 against lefties. Boy, David Price just pounded that strike zone tonight.
And just rearing back and throwing heaters.
And Kearns laced that one, but foul. He was ready for that 97-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yes, he was. He turned up the dial. So now, after a guy swings like that, you may have a chance to see a little slider here. But that's what you do. You go through that lineup the first time, and if somebody starts timing it or gets on it, then you can go ahead and pull the string or throw a different pitch. Oh, fastball away. There it was. That was a good pitch.
Yeah, just missed the outside corner. Now, David Price, his last time out, went 8 2/3 innings without giving up an earned run. Boy, that was right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy looks like a hitter's umpire, because there was a few good pitches I thought would be called. There's their slider.
And the second strikeout victim of the night is Austin Kearns. Quickly 2 down here in the third inning for Jack Hanahan. Well, the Indians have had some success against the Rays and the American League East. 7-0 against the American League East this year. Now, the difference is the runs allowed when you compare it to last year, Rick, after 7 games. This year, 16 runs allowed with that 7-0 start against American League East teams, while 33 runs allowed last year and just a 2-5 record against the AL East.
Well, and yeah, you look at the teams that you play. Here you see Boston and
Hanahan's a ground out victim to third base. So the Indians retired in order once again here in the third. We'll head to the fourth inning. Still 1-0 Rays. We head to the fourth inning here in downtown Cleveland as the sun sets. And the Indians trail the Rays 1-0. Carlos Carrasco will see B.J. Upton, Casey Kochman, and Reed Brignac here in the top half of the fourth inning. Carrasco with a 7-pitch inning in the third. It came after innings of 17 and 26 pitches. And look at this bunt by Upton. Perfect.
Yes, indeed. If that man, the way he runs, puts that ball, that's an automatic hit right there. Good bunt. Get the inning started. And he will apply pressure, being that leadoff man aboard. It's just a and he caught him sleeping back there behind third base. They almost given him the bunt. He took it and laid down a beauty. So the fourth hit now for the Rays, and they get their leadoff man aboard, and this guy can run. 7 stolen bases out of 9.
So he's aboard with nobody out here in the fourth inning. Casey Kochman, who singled his first time up at the plate. Oh, close play there is Carrasco. He's shown us a good move a couple times now tonight.
Well, they're getting just able to get back, get that hand back. And you're right, he has been close a couple of times. But you see, Upton's way out there, and he's turned a little bit thinking second base. That's an aggressive lead, and that's about as far as he can go as a base stealer because that was close. That's where you want to be. You shorten it up a little bit. You don't have to get the maximum lead. You just have to make sure if you're going to steal and you're a base stealer, make sure you get that good jump.
Ball 1 to Casey Kochman. Scoreboard update brought to you by your Northern Ohio Ford dealers and the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive one. No, you're right, Rick. Upton looks like he wants to go. Stays put.
See, he'll pick his pitch, but what Carrasco's doing now, he's rushing a little bit, holding the ball. He's distracted a little bit by Upton over there. You have to hold the runner, but you can't lose focus of the hitter. You know, the bottom line, if the guy steals a base, good base stealers are going to get their steals. Look, he's looking for a sign. Hey, can I go? Can I get the green light? He should have it the way he can run. Now it's 3-0. Excuse me. Well, I think that he missed on the first three. I think.
So 2-1 here to Kochman.
I thought it was 3-0, but he'll be off and running. That's a good count to run on.
A line drive base hit to right. Upton hits second. He won't stop. He'll make it to third. Shue comes up firing. The ball is cut off, but the Rays have runners at first and third now with nobody out here in the fourth.
There you go. Solid hit to right field. Upton gets to third easily. Bottom part of that lineup starting to do it. 6-7. Kochman, that's his second straight hit.
And now a conference on the mound with Santana and Hanahan. Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire.
You know, coming on, Carrasco with nobody on, he fares out okay. 258 batting average with runners on, a 356. But you get him into scoring position, and they equate out to 435. So right now, Tim Belcher realizing, okay, we can't spot those guys many more.
Yeah, not the way David Price is going tonight.
And he has had base runners in every inning except the third, where you said he threw that 7 pitches.
Corners are in here for Reed Brignac. And the Indians a double play depth up the middle. Ball 1 to Brignac, who reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning, came around and scored. And a swing and a miss there for Brignac. So 1-1 to the Tampa shortstop, who struggled this year, now batting just 192.
192 and has not had an extra base hit. And squeeze, safety squeeze.
That popped it high in the air, and plenty of time for the runners to get back as Laporta catches it for out number 1.
That wasn't the suicide squeeze, or the runner would have broke down and would have been a double play. That is a safety squeeze where the runner at third gets a really good lead, but he doesn't leave until he sees the ball on the ground. He popped it up, and it's a good thing it was a safety squeeze. Watch him at third. He stays there, and he started to come, but he sees it in the air. He has time to get back. So you read where that ball is going to go before you take off as the base runner at third base. On the suicide squeeze, you're taking off and breaking the home plate when that pitcher's foot hits the dirt.
So now 1 out with runners at the corners for John Jaso, who singled his first time up. Well, that's a big out, Rick, because now a double play can get you out of the inning.
Yes, indeed. It certainly was.
1-1 here to Jaso, who coming into tonight, in his last 9 games, was batting .360 with 4 doubles and 4 runs batted in. So he's been hitting the ball pretty well of late to get that average up to .250 now. There's the base runners, Upton at third, Casey Kochman over at first. 1 out here in the 4th inning, 1-0 Tampa. Now, other than the 3rd inning, it doesn't seem that Carrasco has been able to find his rhythm.
Well, he doesn't look comfortable. He's searching. He's searching for it. He doesn't have good command of his pitches. There's times where he's thrown very good pitches, but it hasn't been consistent.
There goes the runner. The pitch is fouled away as Kochman was headed to second base. Got a pretty good jump, too.
Well, Joe Madden trying to, Kochman not a base stealer. He's just trying to send a guy in the hitter's count, where you feel a pitcher has to throw a strike. So you start your runner to hopefully stay out of the double play if he puts it in play and make something happen. They have a 1-0 lead, middle part of the ball game, trying to be aggressive.
2-2 now to John Jaso.
See, breaking ball. He can't command the breaking ball. He's got no. It's really just the fastball, little changeup. Right now, he's trying to find it out there. He's struggling, and that sometimes that happens where you got to try and find a way to get outs when you're on that mound and you don't have your good stuff, and you got to try and find a way to get hitters out. That's where your catcher helps you. And Santana being young, a young catcher. He's trying to get him a double play ball, so it's a 3-2 pitcher. Going to start the runner. It'll probably be a 2-seamer away.
There goes Kochman. The swing, and Jaso hits it foul and into the seats on the left side.
That was just a straight 4-seam fastball. He's challenging him. He doesn't want to walk him. So you're just you have to throw a strike here because you're going to roll it over to the top of the lineup next.
We'll see what he comes up here to Jaso.
Sometimes you just put down the pitch he's throwing strikes with and say, here, hope he hits it at somebody if he hits it.
And steps off that time. Kochman took a step towards second.
He'll be running.
And then he broke back in time.
Curious to see what they do if they have a strike him out if he's running. Do they throw through?
There goes Kochman, and the ball hit to first. Laporta going to come home after he looked to second. Never got the tag down, and the run scores. That little pause by Laporta.
Made a mistake.
Yep, cost the run.
It sure did. He wanted to go for 2. You have to make your decision because you've got a guy like B.J. Upton that can run at third base. And if he's going on contact, you either come home or you go for the double play. And by that little hesitation cost him. Watch, the guy's running. You have to know he's running so you don't go to second base with it. That's a mental mistake right there by Matt Laporta. You know the guy, you're telling him he's going. So you can't throw it to second base to get the lead runner. You got to automatically come home. One little hesitation cost them, and they don't get an out.
So Tampa adds on. They're up 2-0 now with runners at first and second and one away for the top of the order, and Sam Fuld, who takes strike one from Carrasco. Jaso picks up his 10th RBI of the season as he reaches on that fielder's choice. And Sam Fuld tonight, a walk and a double.
Double coming on the 0-2 pitch when he had him down last time.
Pops that one back out of play. So 0-2 here to Fuld.
Again. All this started on an infield bunt. B.J. Upton leading the inning off. Laid one down to third baseline. Got the inning going and has Carrasco out of the stretch.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. One and two now to Sam Fuld. He fouls another one away. Well, Fuld, as we've talked about, was that spark plug that Tampa needed, especially the first 2-3 weeks of the season. Went into a little bit of a slump, but here tonight he looks more like that guy that was hitting the first couple of weeks than the last couple of weeks. Indians fans trying to get behind Carrasco to get the out here. And he just misses on the inside corner. Here's the pitch totals for you for Carrasco. And now the count runs full.
Yeah, he is just struggling to find his command today. You can tell he's rusty. You know, they say he felt healthy, but did he need any more time down there to work on the command?
Here's the payoff pitch with one out and runners at first and second, and they're going. And Fuld hits it on the ground towards second. Cabrera can't get it. It's into right field for a base hit, and that'll score another run. So Casey Kochman touches home plate, 3-0 Tampa. Jaso moves over to third base. And Sam Fuld has his second hit of the night, his second RBI of the night to give him 11 for the year.
This one gets right under the glove as Cabrera goes over, tries to keep it on the infield and knock it down. He couldn't do it. That'll allow a run to score, so it's first and third now, still just one out. And it's a 3-0 Tampa lead.
No, not a lot of big hits this inning either. I saw the bunt. That one through the infield there. Ben Zobrist now, who's 0 for 1 tonight with a walk. Zobrist has started all 35 games for Tampa this year. Settling in more now at second base. 26 starts there, 8 in right field. Takes a strike.
Well, he's had a good year. Leads the league in runs scored, 29. 6th in the league in ribbies. This guy, you don't look at him as an RBI guy. Had a 4-game span where he drove in 18 runs, 10 runs in a double header. That's a great week, if not 2 weeks.
Step off, but nothing happening. 0-2 to Zobrist, who can play shorter. Third or even he can play just about anywhere.
Yeah.
He has.
Yeah, you wouldn't feel bad about putting him on any position on the diamond.
The pitch was up high. Santana had to extend for it. And Carrasco at 75 pitches now.
Yeah, just maybe tried to overthrow that one. That one not even close.
Now the 1-2. And Zobrist hits that one to right center. Chu going over, and he slides and makes the catch. Looks like he lost it there in the lights. Tagging and scoring is John Jaso, so the Rays get another run. They're up 4-0 on the sac fly by Ben Zobrist. But Chu with some, I don't know if that ball had some English on it or he just lost it.
No, he had to run it into the lights. I mean, the way he went down on it, he was going over into the gap. I said he's got it, no problem. And then all of a sudden he goes to one knee. You see, he's going to turn away and shot. He didn't see it. That went right in. He didn't see it go in his glove. So obviously he ran it into one of the light towers up there. It'll go as a sacrifice fly, and it'll be a 4-0 lead.
So Tampa with 3 runs home here in the 4th inning have given their starter David Price a nice cushion. And here's Johnny Damon with the runner at first base and 2 away. Pitch out, but nothing doing for Sam Fuld. He'll stay put at first.
You know, when you think about it, the last time the Indians lost in this ballpark this year, Carrasco was a starting pitcher. Second game of the year, mind you, with the Chicago White Sox, or against the Chicago White Sox, I should say.
Yeah, and in that game, that was really his only really bad outing of the year. 6 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs allowed. After that, never gave up more than 3 runs the rest of his starts. As Damon swings and misses. His last start coming April 24th at Minnesota, only went 3 innings. That's when he had to leave early and then went on the disabled list. Yeah.
Right.
And then he had the rehab start at Double-A Akron against Trenton on May 6th. And threw 80 pitches, gave up
the numbers
4 runs.
Yeah, the numbers were not that good, but their concern was, is he pain-free?
Right.
So they said he was pain-free, and they came back and they let him in today's start. But he doesn't look sharp.
Now Carrasco threw 26 pitches in the 2nd inning, 30 now here in the 4th. He's up to 80 total. And there goes Fuld. But it's ball 4 to Johnny Damon. Third walk issued tonight for Carlos Carrasco. Comes with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And let's head back to our STO studios now and get an update on the Yankees and Royals with Dave Chudowski. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Al, thanks a lot. Yeah, the Royals' struggles on the road continue here in New York. Bottom of 2, Jorge Posada with the base hit to right. Jeff Francoeur is going to come up throwing. We have a play at the plate, and Robinson Cano is safe. The Yankees have added another and are up 2-0 right now. Back to you.
All right, Dave. So the Royals running into some trouble there at Yankee Stadium against New York. Yankees up 1 game in the AL East coming into tonight over Tampa. They were in a tie with them last night. It's Tim Belcher chatting with Carlos Carrasco, who's trying to work out of further damage here in the 4th inning. And he's got Evan Longoria at the plate, and Matt Joyce is on deck. A couple of very strong hitters. And the Indians now getting some action in the bullpen, so I think it's Justin Germano. Tim Belcher just trying to get him some time.
Somebody we haven't seen in a long time. This guy, the long man. Boy, he's been a stranger to a ball game. It's a good thing, I guess, when you're a team and your starters, go the way the Indians have pitched. But, you see your long man up, it's not a good night for your starter.
So Carrasco will try and work out of it here. Evan Longoria 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out in the 1st inning and grounded out to Jack Hanahan in 3rd, back in the 3rd frame. He takes ball 1 from Carrasco. In his 7 games since returning from the disabled list, Longoria batting .360. A couple of homers and 4 doubles. And now 2-0 to Longoria. Tampa, the best road team in baseball, had an 8-game winning streak on the road, snapped last night here at Progressive Field. There's a strike.
There you go. 2-0 slider for a strike. He's sitting dead red. He was sitting on the fastball, so he spit on that slider, but you have to throw it for a strike, and he did.
Grounder to third, Hanahan. Make the long throw across. He retires Longoria for the second time tonight, but Tampa scores 3 runs here in the 4th inning, and they take a 4-0 lead. Bottom of the 4th inning, Indians down now 4-0, and the Tribe looking for their first base runner of the night against left-hander David Price, who's been very efficient. 37 pitches, 24 of those strikes, hasn't thrown more than 14 pitches in any one inning thus far. And he'll face the first 3 in the Indians' order: Brantley, Cabrera, and Chu. Brantley lined out to Price back in the 1st inning.
They got to find a way to get a base runner and get this guy out of the stretch.
Ball 1 here to Michael Brantley.
Well, I'm thinking out of his 38 pitches, there could only have been less than a handful of off-speed pitches. One slider, I know, who was it, to Kearns?
Yeah, he's throwing it hard tonight. Well, and a couple of starts ago, talking with some folks from Tampa, they said against the Angels, he was experimenting a little bit, gave up 12 hits and 5 earned runs. The last start against Toronto, he threw 118 pitches, and all but maybe 10 or 11 were fastballs.
Experimenting? Was he a scientist?
And
you go out there with his stuff.
There's a ground out to begin the 4th inning, 4-3. And let's check in with Katie Witham, who caught up with Colt McCoy, who's here tonight. Katie.
Hey, guys, yeah, thanks. I'm here with Colt McCoy. And Colt, you know, we had Joe Hayden out here last night representing the Indians, and now we have you out here. I mean, what's it like being out and supporting Cleveland teams?
Just super happy to be here. What a great day. You know, I'm back in Cleveland for a little bit, and the weather's been awesome. So to come out and watch the game, the Indians are doing great. I've been keeping up with them since I've been back home in Texas, but just happy to be here, proud to support the Indians, and hoping for a win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know there's a ton going on with the NFL and the lockout right now, but for you, what are you doing to stay in shape, and are you getting the players together?
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate, the situation we're in right now. We're all working, we're all training in different places, but we've been together in Austin for, you know, about a week, and we've come up here and we're working together here, and you know, I think that's important for us, just to continue to grow. You know, we're in a new system with new coaches, and you know, for us to be able to stick together, to learn together. You know, we spend a lot of time watching film. We take it over to the field, do a couple walkthroughs, and you know, we're really trying to, you know, push ourselves. And when we can get together and we can work, and everybody's dedicated to doing that, it really is going to make a difference for us in our eyes. And we're trying to keep it quiet. We're just trying to continue to work. And like I said, guys are in their own places, living wherever they are. Some are here, some are in Texas, some are in Florida. But we're all getting together and practicing and getting better.
Well, a well-deserved rest and watching the Tribe tonight. Colt, we appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, I'll send it back over to you.
All right, Katie. Colt, Joe Hayden was here last night. Colt McCoy tonight from the Browns. Asdrubal Cabrera, a ground-out victim, so 2 quick outs here in the 4th. And David Price just keeps humming right along. Shin-Soo Choo, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Swing and a miss. So 1-2 now to Shin-Soo Choo. Indians trying to get their first base runner of the night. Choo fouls that one away. When you have a pitcher going this good, Rick, what do you try to do as a batter? Do you try to call time? I mean, is there anything you can do?
No, he's just throwing the fastballs by these guys. He must be tough to pick up for the left-handers because he's on you in a heartbeat. I mean, they haven't hit a ball hard all night. Sometimes right there, he tried to overthrow it and throw it right past him. He's been nice, free, and easy. Just you have to relax and let it go. He's been all fastballs. No surprise.
Choo checks his swing, but not in time. It's his third base umpire, Dale Scott. And he's the third strikeout victim tonight for David Price, who's perfect through 4. To you by United, proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, it's time to join the Hyundai movement. And by Panini's, get overstuffed at any one of the 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. Nice night tonight in downtown Cleveland. And it's one of our master control operators, Laura Griggy, getting a night off. Laura always does such a nice job.
So she's coming out to the ballpark on a nice day. Wave. She doesn't know she's on camera.
Carlos Carrasco works into the 5th inning here. He'll see Matt Joyce, the only hitter he didn't see in the 4th inning. B.J. Upton and Casey Kochman. Hitters 5, 6, and 7 for Joe Madden. And quickly 2 strikes to Matt Joyce, who's grounded out to second twice tonight. Joyce came into tonight leading the American League in batting average. And a swing and a miss. Foul tip held on to by Carlos Santana. Second strikeout tonight for Carlos Carrasco.
Well, you don't want to miss the Indians Music Festival, starring Brad Paisley, Blake Shelton, Jared Neiman, and 7 other artists. That'll be Saturday, June 11th, right here at Progressive Field. Visit Indians.com for your tickets.
Coming up in a month, June 11th. B.J. Upton the batter with 1 away here in the 5th inning. He had the bunt single and scored back in the 4th inning. Started that 3-run rally for Tampa. He's down 0-2 here. That pitch up high. B.J. Upton's dad, Manny, worked as a college basketball referee for ACC games. And B.J. said he would go to a lot of those, and Clyde Drexler was coaching. He got tossed out one night. Upton looks at ball 2, and they said, well, B.J., did you boo your dad when he tossed out Clyde Drexler? And he said, no, I didn't have to. Everybody else was booing there for me. So. Got to be fun, though, hanging around college basketball games growing up.
No doubt.
Upton with a high pop on the infield that Asdrubal Cabrera makes the call for. 2 outs. That'll bring Casey Kochman to the plate, who's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. He scored back in the 4th as well.
Yeah, he's hit the ball hard twice tonight.
Has the average up to 368. You were talking about Carlos Pena and how the Rays didn't keep him heading into this year. But Casey Kochman is more than adequately filled in for him so far this season.
Well, Kochman is a good defensive first baseman, much like Pena was very good defensively over there. And, you know, offensively, he's not going to hit for the power. I mean, that's why he has moved around and traveled around, but, you know, much more affordable guy over there at first base.
Looks at a strike there. Fouls that one off into the seats. 2-2 now to Casey Kochman. He went 1 for 4 with the double yesterday. And with the 2 singles here tonight, he's reached safely now in his last 12 games and 18 of his last 19. Pitch in the dirt. So it goes full to Casey Kochman.
Yeah, Carlos has had a tough time throwing his breaking ball tonight. Hasn't been able to command it, throw it for strikes. He has thrown some, but, I mean, it just hasn't been, I don't think, where he wants it to be.
This will be his 100th pitch tonight. Kochman grounds it to short. Asdrubal Cabrera makes the play, and the Rays retired. 3 up, 3 down here in the 5th inning. We'll head to the bottom half. Still 4-0 Tampa Bay. We get to the bottom of the 5th inning. Carlos Santana will lead it off for the Tribe and try to become the Indians' first base runner tonight against David Price, who's throwing 50 pitches now through 4 innings, 31 of those for strikes. And high pitch counts are not a problem for him either. Not that 50 is high by any means.
Well, you know, he may get a high pitch counts because guys can swing and miss at his pitches. You don't foul off a lot of them and make him work hard. And if he's going to have a lot of strikeouts, that pitch count will climb more so than guys that pitch to contact because he is so overpowering.
He's had pitch counts of 103, 116, 114, 102, and 118 this year. The lowest number he's thrown is 96 back on April 7th at Chicago. Santana sends that one to right center. That one towards the wall. It's off the wall. Santana on his way to second base. He slides in safely. Santana with the double. The first hit tonight and the first base runner for the Tribe.
All right, you finally get him out of the stretch. So 12 up, 12 down. Then Santana takes him off the right field wall. Pretty good pitch. Let's see. It had to be a fastball. He stayed on nicely and hit it a long way. Gets it over the head of Joyce in right field. Joyce actually played that ball nicely off the wall. Throw in and watch. They tag him right on the head. He just got his foot in there. That's pretty good defensive play. But for Santana, double number 5 and a start to the inning. You need a little spark to make him feel like he can get right back in this game or at least score.
So now Shelley Duncan, who swings and misses. Shelley this year hitting .375 with runners in scoring position. Grounded out to third, his only time up. Now 0-2 quickly to Shelley Duncan. Infield playing him to pull. Shortstop Reed Breniak is over towards the hole at third. And second baseman Ben Zobrist, as you see there, almost playing him right up the middle.
Well, they know he's not going to try and slap it the other way. If it does, it's going to go off the end of the bat because he's trying to pull it.
Fouls that one off.
There's a little slider. About 89 miles per hour. That's as hard as some guys throw their fastball.
Yeah. There's Carlos Santana at second. He led off this 5th inning with a double. For the first time tonight, David Price is in the stretch. And he misses outside with that one. This is Shelley's 7th start of the season, a designated hitter. He's trying to deliver Carlos Santana now, who's on second with nobody out. And he stays alive as he just got a piece of that one. Orlando Cabrera on deck. Indians have won 14 straight here at home, but they're down 4-0 here in the 5th. Duncan again fouls one away.
There you go. Keep battling just to stay alive. That good fastball out over the plate. Not one you can try and put in play. I mean, if you foul it off, great. He hasn't made too many mistakes middle of the plate. He's been throwing hard. He's moved it in and out very well. Manny just biding his time and hope someone can get it going, get the crowd into this.
They're trying to come alive here tonight.
Nice pitch.
Shelley Duncan, though, is down looking. 4th strikeout tonight for David Price. 1 out here in the 5th inning. And let's once again check in with Katie Witham.
Hey, Al, I mentioned we've got a ton going on this week. Saturday, it's Faith and Family Day. We have a post-game concert going on by Reliant K. Right now, you can get tickets starting at just $8. If you come with a group of 25 or more, you can get tickets for $5. Log on to Indians.com, buy your tickets in advance, and come on out here on Saturday. We'll send it back over to you guys.
All right, Katie. Game at 105 this Saturday. Check it out and stay for the post-game concert afterwards. So one out for Orlando Cabrera. Checks his swing there. And on the appeal, Jerry Meals checks with John Tumpain. Tumpain says he did not go. Orlando and his wife Katie visited with students earlier today from Oberlin College right here at the ballpark for an hour-long Spanish conversation to talk about life in the majors and his transition to the U.S. and playing in the big leagues.
Well, and he's been here quite many years up in the big league level. Very successful. He's approaching 2,000 hits in his career. He will get that in the near future.
Now, he's a good guy to have in the clubhouse, as we've talked about, but also in the community. He's a guy that wants to be a positive force wherever he's at.
Well, he has been.
He knows a lot about the postseason, too. 1-1 here. And he hits that one high in the air to short right field. Matt Joyce will make the catch. Santana tags, but he'll stay put. Now he's thinking about heading to third as the ball gets away, but he'll get back to second base as the left fielder Sam Fold was coming in to cover second base. So 2 outs. Santana still at second base. And Father's Day is right around the corner. Check out the Bruce Drennan I Love You Cleveland talking bottle opener. STO hats, t-shirts, other great gifts for the dads out there at STOstuff.com. Great place to get some gifts for dad. That's STOstuff.com. Well, ladies, yes, you're on camera. All right.
She just blew you a kiss out.
That was for you, Rick.
That was for you.
Oh, I think that was for you. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. And now Matt Laporta. Try to deliver Carlos Santana, who started the inning with the double, but remains at second base. Laporta, fly out to center his first time up. Well, you can hear our crowd mic picking up David Price.
Oh, he's been grunting from the first inning after he's letting it go. He threw a fastball away to Matt the first time up, and Laporta drove it to center field. I didn't think he'd see another one out there until he throws about 2 or 3 inside to back him off the plate a little bit. There you go.
Well, he's going full go on every single pitch tonight.
And I mean, he's challenged every hitter. You're getting your fastball, and it goes to show you how easy it is to hit it between a 93 and a 97 mile an hour fastball. It's not easy. And he's just rearing back, and here you go. Let me see if he can hit it. The Indians have 1 hit. Santana was able to get it starting this inning.
Strike 3. Ball. Nice pitch for David Price. And the 5th strikeout tonight for David. We'll take a break. 6th inning coming up next. 4-0 Rays. The Cleveland area Subway restaurant to pick up your Wahoo Bucks $5 discount coupons for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and you'll get a great discount as well on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. And as we go to the sixth inning, the call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world.
Well, Justin Germano coming on for the 8th time this year. No wins, a loss. And for Germano, being the long man, he only has 9 innings in this year. He has given up 11 hits. With the starters, the way they have pitched for Manny Acta this year, it has been, being that 13th man or the long man, a tough go. Last time he pitched was out in L.A., where you remember he took the loss in that ball game. Didn't allow an inning. The first 4 hitters, they ended up scoring.
Right. And Reed Brignac swinging at the first pitch here. Flies out to left where Austin Kearns makes the catch. So there's out number 1. Tonight's recap is brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Sam Fuld with the double here makes it 1-0. And he gets a single. 3-0 Tampa Bay in the 4th inning. And it was Ben Zobrist with the RBI on the sacrifice fly. And that's where we stand. 4-0 Rays here in the 6th. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Here's John Jaso. 1 for 2 with a single. Reached out a fielder's choice as well. Scored a run back in the 4th inning. One and 1 here against Justin Germano. You talked about, Rick, how Germano wasn't getting a lot of work. Well, he got in Anaheim last weekend, and now with the work here tonight, if anything, at least this will help him a little bit going forward.
Well, you have to get into games to have a feel for it. I mean, how often is it going to happen where you may go, he went a week or 7 days before pitching it? I mean, that's tough to go out there in game situation and expect to have decent command, decent control, and all your pitches.
Grounded to first, Laporta unassisted, 2 down here. We'll go back to the top of the order. Sam Fuld. He's 2 for 2 tonight with a walk, a single, and a double. Stole the base back in the 1st inning as well. Although it is a problem you like to have with your long man, not being able to find in many situations. And with the way the Indian starters have gone this year.
Well, over the course of the year, you need one, and somebody's going to have to be there to get the work. I mean, the minute you figure, okay, maybe I'll try and get another reliever in there that I might be able to use and match up, then your starter's going to get knocked out and you're going to need a long man. You won't have one.
El Germano retires the Rays in order here in the 6th inning as Fuld grounds out to Orlando Cabrera. 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 6th coming up. Tribe down by 4. Bottom half of the sixth inning here in downtown Cleveland. Tribe fans enjoying the weather and like to have a reason to get up and cheer, but right now David Price has been shutting down the Tribe. He's allowed just one base runner, and that was a Carlos Santana double back in the fifth inning, and he stranded him right there at second base.
Well, in his last start, we told you he went 8 2/3 innings, 10 punch-outs, no walks. Well, he's done that again tonight. He's got 5 strikeouts, hasn't walked anybody, and given up just the one hit. So you can see how dominating he can be, and it's been basically all fastballs. I'd say 95% fastballs.
He starts off Austin Kearns with the strike, and he has had excellent command tonight. Quickly, Kearns is down 0-2. He was a strikeout victim. His only time up back in the third inning. David Price, the Rays' #1 pick in 2007 out of Vanderbilt.
Oh, you know, if it was a pitcher's strike zone tonight, he'd have more than 5 strikeouts. He's made some good pitches and hasn't gotten a call. I mean, ouch, that might have went off his wrist.
Looked like it hit him on the glove hand.
Yeah.
Yep. He retires Kearns, but he's shaking it off right now.
That got skin. That hurts. It is his glove hand now. But I'll tell you, that missed the glove. It caught him right on the meat part of the hand or the wrist. I saw that as soon as it came off the bat. That's the one good thing. It's going to be his glove hand, not his throwing hand. That's going to hurt. That's numb right now. It's sore. And that trainer comes out and puts a thumb in there and says, "Where's it hurt?" You're thinking, "Hey, dude, man, get it out. Yeah. It hurts."
Hurts everywhere right now.
Well, he needs a little time to let the stinging go away. Watch, right into the hand area. See, wrist. Oh. He'll be able to throw the ball. I don't know if he'll be able to hold that left hand or the right hand up. Here's a good look at it. Oh, right on the wrist. He just needs some time for that to, it's what it is. It's like a hitter getting drilled by a pitcher, and getting hit flush. That's what happened. You just need time to let it go and get some feeling back in there, man. Let's look at it real time. Ouch. You heard the crack, and you knew it was nothing but skin. He'll get in. They'll ice it down for him as soon as he gets into the dugout.
So now Jack Hanahan, who grounded out to third, his only time up.
He'll have a nice bruise there tomorrow, I'll guarantee you that.
Now 2-0. So after a play like that, Rick, as a hitter, you want to make him work a little bit and see if he's maybe a little out of sorts?
No. You look for that first fastball you can hit and get after it. He just said he's missed the first 2 pitches, and he's only had 2-0 counts.
That one fouled back. Two and one now to Jack Hanahan. Now 3-1. Brantley's on deck. David Price hasn't walked a batter tonight.
Oh, how about the next hitter coming right back at you?
So Hanahan tests him, and David Price makes the second consecutive play. So 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Time now to take a look at yesterday's great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. First, Michael Brantley hits the home run. The solo shot is second of the year. And then the walk-off walk. Relax, here at Great Clips. Well, the Indians have had some magic here in the last 4 games they've won at home. They've all been in their last at bat. But here they're down 4-0. Pitch inside to Michael Brantley. Grounder to short. Brignac. Thanks to play. Good scoop by Kochman. And the Indians retired in order here in the 6th inning. We'll take a break. 4-0 Rays. Get overstuffed at Panini's. 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. Visit paninisgrill.com for a location near you. Let's get a look in at the ballpark from our Panini cam. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Zobrist, Damon, and Longoria, hitters 2, 3, and 4 for the Rays, facing Justin Germano, who's working into his 2nd inning of relief of starter Carlos Carrasco, who went 5 innings tonight. There's a deep drive to right. Chu going back, but he's a spectator like everyone else here. That's gone. A home run for Ben Zobrist, and it's 5-0 Tampa.
Well, this kid is having some kind of year. There was no doubt as soon as he put the barrel of the head on the bat on that ball, it took off. Out over the plate, good extension. That's the first home run Germano has given up. And the 8th that Ben Zobrist has hit.
411 feet on that home run for Zobrist, and now Johnny Damon.
Well, and they're right about where they average on the road. We said their Tampa, their offense, 6 runs a game on the road. They're at 5.
5 runs on 7 hits tonight for the Rays. No runs on 1 hit tonight for the Tribe. Errorless ball for both sides. Now, the Indians during this home winning streak, Rick, have averaged over 6 runs per night, but they've got David Price to contend with this evening.
Well, you can't do it every night.
Damon, a flyout victim to Austin Kearns. 1 out here in the 7th inning. Let's take a look at our AT&T Trivia answer tonight. Name the 3 players in Indians history who have had multiple seasons of 40-plus stolen bases.
What do you got for us?
Kenny Lofton right away. I know that.
Okay. How about his counterpart?
Omar Vizquel.
Right. And who's the 3rd?
Oh, Brett Butler.
Brett Butler.
Okay.
How about that? Forgot about him.
Yeah. Did it back in the mid-'80s for the Tribe. Here's Evan Longoria with 1 out. He struck out and grounded out twice to Jack Hanahan. He fouls that one off his leg. Boy, that did not feel good for Evan Longoria.
Well, that's why he wears that pad on that leg. A lot of those hitters, boy, they turn on the ball, and I've seen some guys hit balls off their back legs, off their knees. And boy, it hurts.
So quickly, Germano ahead of Longoria 0-2. One and 2 here to Evan Longoria. Won the American League Gold Glove at third the last 2 seasons. Takes that one in the dirt. There's been only 2 other third basemen in Major League history that have done this at a younger age since the awards began in 1957. Brooks Robinson was one, 60 and 61, and Eric Chavez in 01 and 02.
Yeah. Pretty good company. Ouch. Boy, that was right in the side.
So that one got away from Germano, and Longoria hit by pitch. He'll head down to first base. So he fouled one off his leg, and then he got hit in the back. So a painful at bat for Evan Longoria.
Well, this one comes away and gets him, right in the side. He goes up. You're right, that was a painful at bat.
So he's aboard with 1 out here in the 7th inning. And now Matt Joyce was grounded out to Orlando Cabrera twice at second, struck out back in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss here. Matt Joyce has 28 career home runs. They've all come against right-handed pitchers. Joyce hit one last night. That was his 3rd of the season. This Tampa team, they've got some hitters in the middle of that lineup that can give you some power, but also good averages as well.
That was their problem when they started out the year, was offense. They had a tough time finding a way to score for whatever reason. They have a lineup you think you can pitch to, but they hit much better on the road for some reason. Usually I would think they have an advantage in that dome where they play down in St. Pete.
Yeah. Strike
might
to Joyce.
Be the first pitcher's strike I've seen.
Joe Madden disagreeing.
Well, it's been pretty much a hitter's zone tonight, and he's been consistent with it. It's been both ways, so you can't argue with it.
Ground ball towards second, just past a diving Orlando Cabrera. Longoria will stop at second, single for Matt Joyce. That's the 8th Rays hit of the night. Now Tampa once again with something brewing here. Couple aboard with 1 out.
Second ball that was hit like that tonight that got under the glove. Sam Fold hit one like this? Now Joyce gets one just under the glove of Cabrera going to his left.
So the Rays have runners at first and second, 1 out here in the 7th inning. Already a run home on the homer by Ben Zobrist. And B.J. Upton, who's 1 for 3 tonight with a bunt single, is at the plate. And he takes ball 1. E.J. Upton, a very good athlete, can run him down in center field.
His brother's not too bad either. We'll get it.
Hits that one deep to left center field. That one is off the wall. 1 run is in. Here comes another. The throw to the plate, not in time. So Longoria and Joyce both score on the double by B.J. Upton, and now the Rays have blown it open at 7-0.
Well, another double, and that ball Germano left middle of the plate, and Upton made him pay. So they realized that ball was either off the wall or over it, so they were able to start at first base. Joyce comes all the way around to score easily. It is now 7-0.
Pitching coach Tim Belcher back on the bullpen phone. The Indians will get their pitcher up here very soon.
Yeah, now you get your guys that need some work in right now, and You flip it over. You got a 12 o'clock game tomorrow.
Here's Casey Kochman, he's 2 for 3 tonight. Singleton scored back in the 4th. Well, the Rays with a run in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th, 3 here in the 7th. They've staked David Price now to a 7-0 lead. Kochman hits that one in the air to left. It'll be an easy play for Austin Kearns. 2 outs for Reed Brignac as B.J. Upton will hold at second base. There's Chad Durbin getting loose. No, you said it, Rick. You're not going to be perfect every night here at Progressive Field, though it seemed that way when you won those 14 in a row. But Indians were due for a night like this.
No, you're going to run into it when I remember they had their 8-game winning streak. It was stopped by Danny Herron, wasn't it, out in California, who pitched a one-hit gem. That's what stops winning streaks and things. You run into a pitcher that's just on fire.
And the Indians have run into a lot of those lately.
Yeah. They have faced 3 of the best staffs in the league, no question.
Grounder to first. Laporta takes care of it himself. Brignac is out. And time now for the Cleveland Clinic 7th inning stretch. Indians fans, it's time for you to get up and move it. David Price. We'll see hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the Indians lineup. Asdrubal Cabrera, Shin-Soo Choo, and Carlos Santana. Santana with the only Tribe hit tonight, a double back in the 5th inning. There's the line on David Price, who has been phenomenal this evening.
Well, he was the guy that Tampa had lost 18 straight games to the Indians in this ballpark, and it was Price's game. Matched up against Mitch Talbot last year that ended that streak. Was it last year or the year before? In 08.
And he gets ahead of Asdrubal Cabrera 0-2.
No, that was last year.
So 0-2 to the Indians' leadoff batter here in the 7th inning, Asdrubal Cabrera. A pitch inside. 1-2 to the Tribe shortstop. Now 2-2. Now let's go good news, bad news. Good news here in 2011 from the 6th inning on. Indians are a plus 29 in run differential. The bad news, when they're trailing after 6 innings, they're 3-8, and when they're trailing after 7, 0-9. But Cabrera lines that one to left center field. That one headed towards the gap. Cut off by a sliding Sam Full. Cabrera trying for the double, and he'll make it. Second hit tonight for the Tribe. Both of them are doubles.
Boy, he went down and put a nice stroke on that baseball. Ball just shot off the bat. Was right in his wheelhouse. Well, this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. You got to love it when a guy just makes a left turn tonight. Only the second hit for the Indians. Both doubles. That's a pretty nice play by Fold. Trying to get up and do the pop-up slide so we can get that ball in, but Cabrera slides into second base. Both doubles, leadoff doubles. The last one they had was stranded on second.
So now Shin-Soo Choo will bat for the first time tonight with the runner in scoring position. And he pounds that one into the ground. This will be a tough play for Zobrist. But he gets him by a step. That'll move the runner Asdrubal Cabrera to third, but a nice play by Ben Zobrist.
Well, that ball right out in front of home plate. Zobrist comes in on the run. Not much time to waste the way Choo goes down the line, but he does get him by a half a step. Cabrera moves over to third base.
And the Rays with a 7-run lead will, of course, play the infield back. Our catcher Carlos Santana, who doubled his last time up. And pitch in tight. Now 2-0 to Santana. Tonight's attendance, 17,741. A nice night for baseball here in downtown Cleveland. Inside again, 3-0. This Tribe offense trying to get something going here in the late innings. Duncan is on deck. Santana taking all the way. Time is called here. Price hasn't walked a batter tonight. And now the count goes full. There's Cabrera at third as David Price gets a new baseball. Carlos Santana has 18 runs batted in this year. But he swings and misses. 6th strikeout tonight for David Price. 2 outs, and let's check in with Katie Witham.
Hey guys, I'm over here hanging out with some of the Tribe's diehard fans, right guys? AJ here celebrating his 9th birthday. We want to make sure that you know Kids Fun Days every Saturday and Sunday. They're going on this weekend. Tons of new pregame activities, including batting cages. Your kids can come out, try their swing, and make their own baseball card. Log on to Indians.com to get your tickets for this weekend tonight. Guys, back over to you.
All right, Katie. Fun baseball activities there for Kids Fun Day on Sunday. Shelley Duncan fouls the first pitch off. Indians will wrap up this series with Tampa Bay tomorrow afternoon at 12:05. Justin Masterson on the hill for the Indians, 5-0, a 2.11 ERA. We'll take on James Shields, who's off to a good start as well. He's 3-1, a 2.01 ERA.
Should be a nice matchup tomorrow.
That could be a quick game.
Matinee baseball.
Duncan pops that one up the first baseline. David Price making the call for it and the catch. How about that?
Well, he called off the catcher. That goes to show you.
So the Indians retired in the 7th inning. They trail the Rays 7-0 as we head to the
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Hitters 9, 1, and 2 for the Rays as we enter the 8th inning. Jaso, Fold, and Zobrist. Tampa up 7-0. And thus far a 2-hitter by David Price. Jaso lines that one to right. Here comes Chu. He'll make the catch for out number 1 here in the 8th inning. Let's take a look at tonight's box score, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. Several multi-hit nights for the Rays.
Well, they had a couple 3-run innings in this ball game, the Rays did, and that's one thing the Indians have been able to do all year long is minimize innings, 3-run innings. Tonight there's 2 of them. They had 2 on Sunday, but in the Central Division they have allowed the fewest 3-run innings of anybody. 12 3-run innings this year.
Sam Fold, the batter, with a 2-0 count against Justin Germano. He's working into his 3rd inning of relief. Now 2-1. Now looking at the American League Central, the Detroit Tigers came back and beat the Minnesota Twins today, so they've been on fire of late.
Yeah.
Here's a 5 in a row. Fold with a 1-hopper up the middle then. Went past the shortstop. Cabrera really had no chance at it. A single for Fold. That's his 3rd hit of the night. He's been on base 4 times. The Rays leadoff hitter getting it done. Well, let's check in with Dave Chudowski now back at our STO update desk. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Al, thanks a lot. Boston at Toronto. Boston lost last night, trying to not let it happen tonight. Down 4-2 in the 6th. Big Poppy David Ortiz with his 6th home run to make it 4-3. That's the score right now in the 7th. Toronto leading. Back to you.
All right, Dave. So American League East action where the Rays are right now a game behind New York. So Detroit a winner earlier today, 9-7. Ben Zobrist, who hit a home run his last time up at the plate. The runner on first and 1 away. 2-0 count to Zobrist. Yankees up 2-1 on KC. That ball game's in the 6th inning. Three and 0 now to Zobrist. And ball 4. So 4 pitches and a walk for Ben Zobrist. First walk of the night for Justin Germano. And the 4th for Indians pitching. So Johnny Damon to the plate, 0 for 3 with the walk tonight. After Tampa Bay leaves town tomorrow, the Seattle Mariners coming to town this weekend. Carmona against Pfister on Friday night. It's fireworks night. Saturday afternoon, as Damon fouls that one into the seats. Alex White against Eric Bedard. Then on Sunday, Josh Tomlin on the hill against Michael Pineda. It's off to a nice start.
Yeah, he's a big, young, hard-throwing right-hander. And they missed King Felix again.
Yeah.
Didn't see him in Seattle. Not going to see him here.
Oh, 0-2 here to Johnny Damon. Now 1-2. You look at that Seattle team, and they've had their struggles early on. Some people thought they would contend in the American League West, but you've got pitching staffs like the Angels and the A's do, and an offense like the Rangers do. It's tough.
Well, they battled back after a poor start, to get back into contention. They're now 16-20. They've lost 3 straight, but they started off poorly.
So we'll see them here this weekend.
That's a team with no offense.
Right.
Is really that's been their problem. I think that's a lot of people's problems. The offense is coming back to earth, I think.
Count evens on Johnny Damon. A Rays DH tonight. And he lines that one foul and into the seats. Hit somebody and ricocheted out. Looks like everybody's okay down there. There's the base runners. Fold at second, Zobrist at first. A foul ball for Johnny Damon. His average has come back down to 250 now, but Johnny Damon has always been a tough out. Good eye at the plate. And he works the count full. So from 0-2 to 3-2 here for Johnny Damon, with one out and runners at first and second. There's Evan Longoria. He'll be next. Damon hits that one to center. Michael Brantley going back. He'll make the catch. 2 down. Tagging and moving to third is Sam Fuld. So that'll put runners at the corners now with 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Now out comes skipper Manny Acta. Looks like he's going to make a change. Already has.
And Chad Durbin will be the new Indians pitcher, so he'll get some work here tonight in the 8th inning with 2 outs and 2 on. We'll take a break. Tell you more about Durbin right after this. Back here at Progressive Field, 7-0 Rays in the 8th inning with a couple out, and the third Indians pitcher of the night is Chad Durbin.
Oh, Manny bringing him on to face a tough out, Evan Longoria. But Durbin throwing better. Feels his cutter is coming back into play. That's a very important pitch for him. But the Rays with 7 runs on the board tonight.
Tampa has been efficient, scoring runs, and got some great pitching tonight.
They had their 3-run innings, and I mentioned the Indians haven't done that a lot this year. And when you put big, crooked numbers on the board, it's tough to come back from. Well, and when you're matched up against Price, you knew you couldn't give up many the way he's been pitching coming into this one.
So Durbin will face Evan Longoria, who's 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout, a couple of groundouts to third, and then he was hit by a pitch his last time up and scored in the 7th inning. Fouls that one away. Rays tonight with 7 runs on 10 hits. They've left 7 on base. Indians no runs on 2 hits, and they've left both of those players on base. A couple of doubles tonight, one for Santana, one for Asdrubal Cabrera, and that's been it. Swing and a miss.
Here's the cutter. See the movement on it?
Well, Chad Durbin talked about that. He said he kind of took the cutter for granted. And he said he's gotten back to that in the last couple of weeks. That's made a difference.
You know, and it's no excuse because he did sign late in spring. But, you know, you got to get a feel. It's a feel pitch, and it's his bread and butter. There it is again. You know, and you're going out there. If he doesn't have that pitch, he's out there naked. You know, I mean, you can't sink it. He can't make it do things that he's used to getting guys out with when he normally has his cutter.
Swing and a miss. So Durbin strikes out Evan Longoria, and the Rays are retired here in the 8th inning. We'll go to the bottom half. Tribe still down 7-0. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Hitters 6, 7, and 8 in the Indians order. Orlando Cabrera, Laporta, and Kearns will go up against David Price, who's been dominating tonight. He's throwing 91 pitches, 58 of those for strikes, hasn't walked a batter while striking out 6.
Yeah, he shows you how good he can be. And it's here we go. He comes right at you.
And Cabrera drives that one to left and full. Couldn't find it. It goes off the wall. Cabrera headed to second base, and he'll make it with a stand-up double. 3rd hit of the night for the Tribe. All doubles.
All leadoff doubles. One in the 5th, one in the 7th, now in the 8th. In the 5th, they couldn't advance the guy. In the 7th, they got him to 3rd, and Price got out of it. And we'll see what happens here. Now we'll see. You know, and like I said, he's been throwing a lot of fastballs. Now coming through that 3rd time, we'll see if he mixes in any of the off-speed pitches if he sees fit.
So Cabrera on second with nobody out here in the 8th. At Laporta, 0 for 2 tonight with a fly out and strikeout.
There's the slider. You know, after that first 2 times, he just went right through the lineup easily, so guys are starting to look for that first pitch fastball that he's been throwing by him all night long. He may lose a little bit on it. May not be 97 every time. Ooh.
Just a little inside there with that fastball.
Like I said, he threw it hard, he grunted, and it was 95. So he's lost maybe a couple of miles an hour just on that one. He may still have it left.
The 1-1 now. Laporta sends that one to right, and that one is down. It's off the wall. It'll score Orlando Cabrera. Laporta headed to second base. Fourth double of the night for the Tribe, and the Indians are on the board.
First thing that they've really had a chance to cheer about tonight. Back-to-back hits. So Laporta caught a 95-mile-an-hour fastball out over the plate. He gave him a little swinging room, and Matt stayed on it. Drove it to right field. Hits it over the head of Joyce or to the screen in front of their bullpen. He goes into second. Cabrera comes in to score. It's a 7-1 ball game.
So back-to-back doubles by Orlando Cabrera and Matt Laporta. And it's 7-1. Here's Austin Kearns taking a fastball inside at 94. Kearns 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground out. Well, I should say a line out that David Price knocked down off his right arm back in the sixth inning, then threw him out.
That ball caught him right on the wrist.
He hits that one hard as well, but to the shortstop. Brignac doesn't have a play at second. Instead, he'll throw across to Kearns and retire him for the first out. Time now for our Miller Taste Greatness moment tonight. We go back 3 years ago tomorrow, May 12th of 2008, for the Asdrubal Cabrera unassisted triple play. Him against the Toronto Blue Jays. Cliff Lee on the hill. Don't see those very often.
No, you do not. I remember that one. He was part of another one they had this year in this ballpark.
Here's Jack Hanahan, 0 for 2 tonight. Batting with one out and a runner on second. And quickly, it's a strike there on the outside corner. 1-1 is the count to Jack Hanahan. Rick, I talked to Jack in the clubhouse and I said, what's been the secret to you with the higher batting average this year? You know, higher than it's typically been. He said it's been the short swing. So you hear that a lot? People stress it a lot, but he said I've been able to put that into practice and become more of a guy that wants to drive the ball and just hit it hard, not necessarily try to hit the home runs.
Well, if he could have, and which he has been doing, taking that same approach to the right-handers. You know, sometimes a left-hander, they just concentrate on seeing the ball off the left-hander and just staying on it, not trying to do too much with it. Sometimes against right-handers, they see it, you know, maybe a little bit better, and you have that tendency to maybe pull off it a little bit or try and hit it a little too hard. But you have to take the same things off the right-handers, base hits to left field and things like you're going to be against the left-handers. And he's been doing that recently.
That pitch is on the outside corner. That's the 7th strikeout tonight for David Price. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. The Gathering Place supports, educates, and empowers individuals and families touched by cancer. For every Indians home run, Rick and Matt will each donate $5 to the Gathering Place, while Great Clips donates $50. Our total so far for this season, $2,220. For more information, visit touchedbycancer.org. Great needs, great deeds, great clips. Michael Brantley to the plate. He homered last night. 0 for 3 tonight, though. And strike one from David Price. He lined out to Price. That was a true line out that Price caught. Back the leadoff hitter in the first inning. So Price has been tested tonight, Rick, but he's come through as a fielder. And now it's 0-2 to Michael Brantley as he fouls that one away. Tonight also Fill the House for charity. Center for Families and Children, the charity tonight. The Indians donating $23,514 to them. Indians Charity's always doing a great job. There's Laporta at second base. 2 outs and an 0-2 count on Michael Brantley. Sizemore off tonight. Brantley back at the top of the order. Rick, how much do you change your approach from leadoff to, say, 7-hole? Is there any?
No, Michael doesn't change it. He goes up there, and he's a very patient hitter. I think he does the same thing no matter what hole you put him in. It's just his hitting style. And he fits well. He could hit first. He could hit anywhere. He's not going to go up there because he's a leadoff hitter and be more patient. He's as patient as you can get. Rarely do you see him swing at the first pitch. You know, until he starts to get to know the pitchers a little bit more, he's a good hitter.
He takes that one off the plate.
I mean, that's a tough pitch with 2 strikes off this guy. He's seen fastballs all night. Now he's going to throw you a 2-2 breaking ball, and you lay off of it. That, to me, that's a good job of hitting. Easy to swing at that pitch, but no, very disciplined. Spits at it, lays off, brings it to a 3-2 count.
There's the payoff. Brantley bloops that one towards left center field. It's dropping. Fold can't make the catch. He said he did, but Brantley gets the single, and that'll score a run as Matt Laporta comes home. 7-2 Rays as the Indians get 2 runs now here in the 8th inning.
Got the 3-2 pitch. He was jammed, and Price threw a good hard fastball up and in. But he muscles it out of there, gets it in front of Fold in left field, bloops it in, and drives in a run. Good at bat. Very good at bat by a left-hander off Price, because coming into the game, they were hitting about $160 off him. So left-handers, you earn it against this guy.
That's the 13th run batted in this season for Michael Brantley. So a 7-2 game. Brantley's at first now with 2 outs in the 8th for Asdrubal Cabrera, who's 1 for 3 with a double his last time up. So the Indians finally get to Price here in the 8th inning, and he's at 109 pitches. One and one to Asdrubal Cabrera. He's right at his season's average tonight against left-handers, .333. Season against lefties, .333 and 1 for 3 tonight. So
Price trying to go upstairs. The last time he was up, Cabrera hit that double, and he had the ball down right into his wheelhouse, and he was able to line a double into left field. Joel Peralta up and getting loose. He pitched a while in last night's ball game.
Cabrera grounds that one to short. Brignac drops it, picks it back up, and is able to throw out Asdrubal Cabrera for the final out here in the 8th inning. So the Tribes retired, but they score 2. We'll head to the 9th, 7-2 Tampa Bay. Go to the ninth. Chad Durbin stays in there for the Tribe in relief. And he'll face hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the Tampa order. Joyce, Upton, and Kochman. Adam Everett, a sub here in the ninth inning. He checks in at shortstop for the Tribe, replacing Asdrubal Cabrera. Matt Joyce tonight 1 for 4 with a single. And a run scored back in the 7th inning. 1-1 now to Joyce. And as we talked about last night, Rick, sometimes you have to take time with trades to see how they worked out. At first, Joyce for Edwin Jackson. When Joyce was traded from the Tigers to the Rays a few seasons ago, looked like a great trade for Detroit, not so much for Tampa. Now the tables have been turned a little bit.
Well, it certainly is, because Jackson no longer with Detroit, and this guy off to a very good start, getting a chance to play here every day. Came into the night leading the league in hitting. I'd say he's off to a pretty good start.
He hits that one high and deep to right field, and that one's on its way. See ya. Home run for Matt Joyce. His second in as many nights, his 4th of the year, and it's 8-2 Tampa Bay. And the fans throw the ball back on the field.
Oh boy, there's a fastball that stayed middle in, and he just turns on it. Second home run hit by the the Rays.
And Joyce clobbered that one, so he's 2 for 5 tonight. Now B.J. Upton. A bunt single and a double for Upton tonight to go with the ground out and pop out. He's 2 for 4. There's Derek Shelton, the former Indians hitting coach. He's got to be happy with his troops tonight, the way they're hitting the ball. 8 runs on 11 hits for the Rays. Pop foul that'll make it to the seats. 0-2 here to B.J. Upton. Upton with the average up to 267 now. It was 260 entering play this evening. Foul tip. Keep the count 0-2. Leaves off that pitch. 1-2 now to B.J. Upton. We were talking about his brother earlier, Rick, Justin, who they both hit a home run a week ago Tuesday. The last time the two brothers hit game-winning home runs happened in 1996, September 28th.
Game winners, huh?
B.J. hit one against the Blue Jays, and Justin hit one against the Diamondbacks. September 28th of 1996 was the last time that happened. What brothers were they? We know them well here. Boy. 2-2 now to Upton.
Go back to 1996. Game-winning homers on the same day?
For different teams.
I'm stumped right now.
Obviously. September 28th of 96. One of those played for the Tribe.
No. Who is it?
Sandy Alomar Jr.
Okay.
And Robbie for Baltimore. Overall, marked the 5th time that the Upton brothers homered on the same day. But how about that brothers hitting walk-offs?
We're going to see his other brother this summer. We have a stop in Arizona on our way back, an interleague play, which is, a matter of fact, going to start next homestand.
Yep.
We finish up this one with Seattle. We go on the road to Kansas City, Chicago, come home, and the Cincinnati Reds will be here.
Always a fun time when the Reds come to town.
Oh, boy, got him again after they just took some time. Right there. How about that? Back-to-back pitches.
Well, poor Carlos Santana getting beat up here in the 8th inning. Now Lonnie Soloff will come out to take a look at him.
Boy, that'll be a quick turnaround for him tomorrow. That ball looked like he's holding that left hand or something. I don't know where it hit him in the glove. It could be the thumb, the wrist, but that's what they're looking at. Sometimes, you get that foul ball and it comes back and it hits that thumb and they just beats those catchers' thumbs up so bad from a sinker ball pitcher. Well, let's take a look at both pitches. There's the first one, a breaking ball in the dirt, and he goes up, and it looks like it goes up off of here, like maybe his forearm or just above his wrist. Here's the foul tip. It goes down, and it gets him on the wrist again, or on the thumb. So
almost the same place.
Boy, on back-to-back pitches, how about that?
Well, Carlos saying he wants to stay in there.
Well, Price took one off his wrist, his glove hand. But this guy just took two.
Again, the 2-2 pitch. Another foul ball for B.J. Upton. Upton hits that one to the shortstop. Adam Everett's come on as a defensive replacement, and he catches that at his shoe tops for the out. First out in the 9th inning for the Rays as Casey Kochman comes to the plate. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Indians and Rays again tomorrow. The early one at 12:05. And then this weekend, Seattle comes to town. Rays trying tonight to snap the Indians' 14-game home winning streak.
Well, it's looking pretty good right now.
And don't forget to stick around after the game tonight for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show here on STO. Conrad's, home of the lowest everyday tire price guarantee. At the Maniac press conference for you, Dave Chudowski with highlights from around the league. That ground ball is an out. Second baseman Orlando Cabrera as Casey Kochman breaks his bat. 2 outs here in the 9th inning for Reed Brignac. Well, the Indians broke the Tampa Bay 8-game road winning streak yesterday, so the Rays trying to get some revenge here tonight.
Yeah, return the favor and end the Indians' home winning streak. Uh-oh. Carlos says, I am not putting my body in front of any more of those foul balls or balls in the dirt.
Ball 1 to Brignac, who's 0 for 4 tonight, but he reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning and scored the Rays' first run. Rays with a run in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 7th, and 1 here in the 9th. On the solo home run by Matt Joyce to lead it off. Two and one now to Brignac. Hitting just 185 this year. He hasn't had an extra base hit in 34 games. This is 35th here tonight. It's the longest drought in Rays history.
Yeah, that's something you want to be remembered for. You know, especially if they're keeping track of it.
Brignac pops that one up on the infield. Adam Everett says he'll take it. And he does for the final out here of the 9th inning for Tampa. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Indians down 8-2. New pitcher on the hill for the Rays. One of two bullpen pitchers we didn't see last night, Rob Delaney.
Well, he's coming in to get some work. What a night by David Price, huh? 8 innings, 5 hits, couple of runs, 7 punch-outs. So he followed up his 8 2/3 in his last start against Toronto to come right back. He gave up 1 run in that one, 2 in this, but he was very, very good. The Indians got him in the 8th inning for back-to-back doubles.
Rob Delaney was recalled Sunday from AAA Durham to take the roster spot of Brandon Geyer. Made his Rays debut on Sunday with a perfect inning of relief. He'll see hitters 6, 7, and 8 here. Check that. Hitters 3, 4, and 5. Chu, Santana, and Duncan. As the Indians try to get something started here in the 9th, down 8-2. Shin-Soo Choo tonight, 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts and a ground out back in the 7th. He'll take ball 1 from Rob Delaney. Now 2-0. Delaney was claimed off waivers from Minnesota back on January 28th. Invited to Major League camp this spring for the Rays. A member of the Rays 40-man roster. He was 3-0 in spring training. Chu hits that one to left center. Fuld going over. He'll make the catch for out number 1 here in the 9th inning. Now Carlos Santana, who has one of the Indians' 5 hits tonight. He had the first one for the Tribe back in the 5th inning to break up a perfect game at the time. And he hit his double. Don't forget Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show coming your way after this one. Following that, Chuck Galletti and Chuck's last call. And no STO broadcast tomorrow. We're back on Friday night, though, as Matt returns to the booth with Rick. 7 o'clock start. Indians on deck, 6:30 for the Tribe and Mariners. Scheduled starters for that night, Fausto Carmona for the Indians, Doug Fister for the M's. And now 3-0 to Carlos Santana. And there's a strike. Rays with the infield shift here against Santana. It's the full shift as the third baseman. See there, Evan Longoria playing in the shortstop position. Shortstop heads over to the second base side. Reed Brignac. 3-1 to Carlos. Ball 4. And that is the first walk of the night for Tampa pitching. David Price didn't walk anybody. So Santana's aboard for Shelley Duncan, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Shelley looking for his first hit here off Rob Delaney. Well, Detroit a winner earlier today in the Central, 9-7 over Minnesota. New York is up 2-1 on Kansas City. They're in the 7th inning in New York. Kansas City only with 1 hit against the Yankees. So if Tampa Bay holds on to win tonight, Rick, that's going to put Detroit in second place in the AL Central, 4.5 back.
Okay. Well, they've been playing very well. Victor Martinez awfully hot on, I think, about a 10-game hitting streak. They've been scoring some runs.
Today the Twins finally got some runs, as we were talking about earlier, and still got beat 9-7.
Still could not win.
Strike 3 called to Shelley Duncan. 8th strikeout tonight for Rays pitching, the first for Rob Delaney. So 2 outs, and Orlando Cabrera, the last hope now for the Tribe. One for 3 tonight with a double and a run scored, and he hits that one to third. Longoria will go the short way to second. That's the final out. The game is over. Final score tonight, Rays 8, Indians 2, and the Indians' 14-game home winning streak comes to an end. Time now for tonight's play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank. Thank you for making KeyBank the #1 bank in Northeast Ohio. Let's go back to the 4th inning. Sam Fuld, this RBI single to make it 3-0 Tampa. And Rick, the way that David Price was pitching tonight, that's all he needed.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't need much. And Fuld had 3 hits tonight, and he set it off with a walk in the first inning, but that hit right there pretty much set the tempo. So that'll be our KeyBank key play of the game.
So the Indians lose their first game at home since the second game of the season against the Chicago White Sox. 8-2 is the final score against the Rays. And the rubber match tomorrow at 12:05. Stay tuned now, though. Conrad's Tire Express and Total